Authorial Reflexive Synthesis, The Formation of Quiet American and Holistic Healing, Chapters 01 to 10. The formation of Quiet American Holistic Healing across chapters 01 through 10 was not a linear act of authorship, but a disciplined ethical process shaped through sustained interaction, critique, and refinement. From the earliest chapters, the interactions revealed that the central challenge of contemporary leadership, ethics, and technology is not the absence of values, but the absence of containment. The capacity to hold power, meaning, and intention without converting them into coercion or harm. Chapter 01 emerged as an inquiry into identity and presence, clarifying that quiet excellence is not a personality style or aesthetic choice, but an ethical posture grounded in restraint, lawful accountability, and nonviolence. The reflective process itself enacted this claim. Identity was stabilized not through assertion, but through responsiveness to critique and responsibility. Chapters 2 and 3 deepened this foundation by confronting the domains of healing and violence directly. The interactions shaping these chapters consistently exposed how unregulated compassion, charisma, or moral certainty can reproduce dependency, silence, or abuse. Chapter 02 therefore crystallized around the principle that holistic healing must increase autonomy and self-regulation rather than emotional reliance. While Chapter 03 reframed violence prevention as the primary ethical obligation of leadership and governance. These chapters were refined through repeated insistence that law, boundaries, and accountability are not antagonists to care, but its necessary conditions. The dialogical process confirmed that healing and ethics lose legitimacy when detached from enforceable protections and safe exits for the vulnerable. Chapters 4, 05, and 06 marked a transition from individual and relational ethics into systems, measurement, and applied leadership. Interactions shaping Chapter 4 revealed that assessment and evaluation, particularly in AI-mediated contexts, are never neutral acts, but moral interventions that can either protect dignity or institutionalize surveillance and control. This insight demanded a reimagining of measurement itself as an ethical practice governed by consent, restraint, and transparency. Chapter 5 emerged as the moral fulcrum of the book, grounding theory in the applied reality of violence prevention and demonstrating that leadership ethics without structural safeguards are ethically incomplete. Chapter 06 then integrated these insights into a broader vision of global leadership and human flourishing, emphasizing that coherence across body, law, culture, and technology is the only sustainable alternative to fragmentation. Chapters 07 through 10 represent the maturation of the work into doctrine. Chapter 7 clarified that institutions are moral environments whose design determines whether ethics scale or collapse, positioning governance as restraint rather than control and law as ethical infrastructure rather than procedural formality. Chapter 08 addressed the global ethical challenge of translation, demonstrating that ethical universals can be preserved without cultural imperialism when safeguards are distinguished from expressions. Chapter 09 confronted the future directly, articulating a doctrine of ethical AI and human-machine coexistence grounded in dignity, embodiment, legal accountability, and post-colonial awareness. Across interactions, it became evident that AI amplifies existing moral failures unless leadership develops the courage to pause, refuse, and contain power. Chapter 10 consolidated the entire work into quiet excellence as a living doctrine, marking the recognition that frameworks alone cannot sustain ethical continuity in a volatile world. The interactions shaping this final chapter emphasize that failure, repair, forgiveness, and recommitment are not exceptions to ethical life, but its enduring conditions. Quiet excellence emerged not as an ideology to be imposed, but as an orientation to be practiced daily, institutionally, and generationally under law and with humility. The dialogical formation of this chapter served as proof of concept. Doctrine is born not from certainty or dominance, but from disciplined responsiveness to responsibility. Taken as a whole, Quiet American and Holistic Healing stands as the record of an ethical formation process rather than a mere compilation of arguments. The interactions across all chapters demonstrate that sustainable leadership, ethical AI governance, and human flourishing arise when vision submits to structure, power accepts limits, and meaning is preserved through lawful restraint. This book therefore offers not only a scholarly contribution, but a replicable model of trauma-aware, ethics-centered knowledge production, one that treats dialogue, reflexivity, and accountability as integral to truth itself. Quiet excellence, as articulated here, is ultimately an ethic of continuity, protecting dignity not through spectacle or speed, but through quiet responsibility sustained over time.